behalf of First Presbyterian Church, we'd like to make you welcome to today's concert. I'd like for you to take a second to silence your phones, shut them off or put them on airplane, air mode, so that the bandwidth is not being competed for as we try to stream. Welcome to the second annual Crystal Coast Community Handbell Spring Concert. There you go. Our program today is absolutely delightful, and as you listen to our repertoire, you will get to experience every kind of sound that can come from a handbell or a hand chime. And so you're in store for a treat. This amazing group of musicians is under the direction of Brenda Baker, and I'd like you to help us make her welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keenan Shaman, and the Bell Choir and musicians here would like to again welcome you to this concert. We very much appreciate your presence with us today. We would like to offer to you, for your enjoyment and inspiration, a variety of handbell arrangements. During the first half of the concert, we will be sharing some of the sounds and styles from around the world. Our first stop will be the land of sushi, samurai, and cherry blossoms. Of course, we will be visiting Japan. The next piece, Sakura, literally means cherry blossoms. However, as it is often the case, there can be many definitions for a word or name, which is especially true here. Sakura symbolizes dualities or contradictions. The name, such as tenderness and love, beauty and mortality, vitality and vibrancy. Historically, the name has often been connected with the lives of the samurai. Thus, there is the duality of life and death. For their lives were often very colorful, but also often very brief, which is very much like the cherry blossoms that bloom in early spring with the rich and vibrant colors of pinks and whites. However, the beauty and aromas remain very often for no more than 1 week, with the petals then falling to the earth in their special way. The history of Sakura also represents both the past and the present, as well as the springtime of new life and good luck, renewal and optimism. As you listen, you may hear and may feel the sounds of the beautiful blossoms as they grow, bloom, and quickly mature. Or you might picture the flowing movement of beautifully adorned maidens in their colorful and elegant kimonos as they take in the trees in full spectacular bloom. Then, there is the change. The petals submit to their fate and float to the earth, symbolizing life and the end of life. There are many versions of this well-known song performed with many different instruments. This particular handbell arrangement emphasizes the beauty, the harmony, the quality, the duality, as well as the often fleeting and sudden nature of life itself. We offer you Sakura.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Jim Berletti. I'll be introducing our next song. The first song is written by Jack Temple White and arranged by Valerie Stevenson. As a bell ensemble, we're always excited to perform with instrumentalists. I've had the pleasure of performing with piano, organ, trumpet, and cello. And today I'm especially excited to introduce our featured flute soloist, my wife and best friend, Emily Gobo. We'll also be joined a little bit by my son Jude, daughter and daughter Maggie. So clearly we have a lot of passion for music in our family. We've all been a part of this bell ensemble and others, as well as the Carter Community Sunshine Band and kind of other ensembles throughout the county. So we're very excited to share this passion with you all. As Keenan mentioned, the first half of our program today features selections from all around the world, including Japan, Brazil, and Ireland. First song of Isaiah takes its roots in the Middle East with the book of Isaiah out of the Hebrew Bible, particularly the servant songs or servant poems, beginning with Isaiah 42. The first poem speaks of God's proclamation of a Savior and redemption, and given the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, we offer this next song as a prayer of redemption and salvation for those affected in that area and beyond. Thank you again for coming today. We hope you enjoy our next piece, first song of Isaiah.
Good afternoon. My name is Nancy Witt, and I moved to Morehead City with my husband and 2 dogs about 4 years ago. I play handbells at my church, St. Paul's in Beaufort. But when I heard about this group, I called Brenda and asked if I could join, and I have had a blast. In keeping with the theme of the first half of our concert, music from around the world, our next song is a favorite of mine. Anyone who knows me well is aware that I love a Latin beat, and this song, Sway, is all about this rhythmic beat. Samba music has its roots in Afro-Brazilian traditions, using rhythmic patterns, emphasizing melody, and incorporating African percussion instruments. This song was written in the 1930s in Brazil, but was made popular by Dean Martin, some of you would remember, in the 50s. It was brought back to life again by Michael Bublé in the last few years. Today, we have an interaction between handbells, using our bells, mallets, and chimes to simulate the sound of steel drums. We welcome this talented group of percussionists who are going to assist us. Sway can be classified as a love song, capturing the essence of romance and the emotions experienced during the first stages of falling in love. Its lyrics and melody evoke feelings of passion, desire, and the irresistible urge to sway and dance with someone special. The lyrics begin, "When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway, like the lazy ocean hugs the shore. Hold me close, sway me more." So sit back, enjoy the rhythms, and sway with us.
We've heard the first half of our concert with music from around the world. Our last stop is going to be Ireland. The Irish are known for their love of words and talent for poetry and songs. And this has resulted in something quite unique, a large collection of Irish lessons, plus songs and hymns. 3 of these are going to be used in the Irish medley we're playing today. Unison, Columbia, and Slang. Unison is actually a Gaelic tune. It was originally written as a melody only. As it's known now, this morning, which was published in many hymnals and was really brought to attention when Cat Stevens recorded a version of that in 1971. Listen for the chimes in this song. You kind of close your eyes and imagine that you're standing on a windswept bluff there in Ireland. The hymn Slain is best known as Be Thou My Vision. And it's named after Slane Hill in Ireland, where in 433 AD, St. Patrick lit a fire to celebrate Easter. Now, this was in direct defiance of the High King's edict that no fires were to be lit, no celebrations prior to this pagan holiday. But he was so impressed with St. Patrick's devotion that he allowed him to continue his missionary work. That is not only a beautiful hymn, but it's also a beautiful prayer. And at this time, we'd like to welcome back Emily Golightly, our fluentist. We hope you enjoy the song.
And so now I'm gonna bring up Sandy Hewitt. Sandy, are you here? There you are, okay. I'm gonna bring up Sandy, and she's gonna introduce you to the family promise. Sandy?
Wow, I don't know if I should do some up or late on the cliffs of the Iron. This is very special to us, and thank you all so much for choosing Family Promise. As a show of hands, how many of you have ever Family Promise and what we did? Wow, this is awesome. We don't advertise a whole lot about Family Promise, but anytime we're invited to introduce Family Promise, I'm always happy to come to this. Family Promise is part of the national nonprofit organization, and all we do is support homeless families. We've been doing this since 2011, so we are very experienced now in helping homeless families find sustainable housing, better paying jobs. We help our children that are in the program who sometimes get left behind in a lot of ways, especially educationally. So we help with tutoring and mediation, and we really work hard to help these families find a income of their own, a better paying job, even if it means getting a better education. We pay for lots of people to get their GEDs and high school diplomas while we've been in the program. But we're very excited to be a part of Carter County. There are only 3 Family Promise organizations in North Carolina, but Family Promise works. In the United States, we go from the East Coast to Hawaii and back, and all the way up to to New York, to almost Canada, and down to Key West. So we're really all over the country. And last year, we were able to help 58,000 families who are suffering from We're able to help 210 families last year. I'm proud to tell you, 92% of the families who have been through Family Promise since 2011, 92% of them are still sustainable where they are today. So it's because of the community. We don't receive any federal, state, or local government funding. It's all through our churches, our congregation, and our friends and community. So I thank you all so much, and I appreciate the gifts you're going to give today.
some more popular tunes, including some pop, rock, and Broadway. Our first piece is Morning Has Broken. This was originally a Scottish children's hymn tune. The story goes that Cat Stevens stumbled upon the song in a hymn book in a used bookstore. He was browsing for ideas for his upcoming album, Teaser and the Firecat. His recording company did not originally want to release a single for the song because of its religious nature. However, the single became the biggest seller the company had, topping the charts at number 6. Even the accompanying pianist, Rick Wakeman, had his doubts about the release during the recording process. We will use an interesting handbell technique in this piece called the singing bell. Just as you might run your finger along the lip of a water glass or a wine goblet to produce a tone, you can do the same with a handbell. The technique uses a wooden dowel run along the upper edge of an upside-down bell. The sound that is produced is quite, I mispronounce this every time, ethereal. I'm sorry. It's quite ethereal, and it grows in volume and intensity as the bell casting settles into the vibration. In this arrangement of Morning Has Broken, the sound of the singing bells calls to mind the dawning of a new day. Listen.
1966. It's almost 60 years ago. So, the song is credited to Lennon and McCartney, the songwriting duo, but it's commonly accepted that McCartney was the main author of this piece. We recognize the lyrics as Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in the church where a wedding has been, right? It's a well-known story song about poverty and loneliness, but its poignancy makes it memorable and uplifting somehow. McCartney wanted to use orchestration, but didn't want the style to be too cloying, so he decided on using a double string quartet, which is 4 violins, 2 violas, and 2 cellos. In this nice arrangement for handbells by Ron Mallory, we simulate some instrumental parts. For the violins at the highest part, we have dee 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 dee, right? Recognize that clause, and that is produced by a technique called thumb damping. The high bells there, they'll keep their thumb on the casting to make sort of a tongue clicking sound. In the middle, the violas, we have chimes here, and we play some of those too. And in the cello part, zoom, 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 that's in the bass belt here. Now we use mallets for a lot of that. I guess that's what you will indulge me for just a moment. I have to exercise my right as a parent to embarrass my child, so. See Charles up there, Charles? Wave to everybody. Charles, of course, is our fearless director and my son, and he's come all the way from Seattle to help us this weekend. Yeah. And these guys are both excellent musicians and vocalists, and they sing in the men's choir out there in Seattle, quite well known. Fortunately, we also have day jobs, so they can afford to. When Charles and his twin brother Nate were around 12 years old, they started playing handbells in the children's choir at First Adventist in Loveland, Colorado. I got started in the children's choir there too, and became an honorary kid. Eventually, the family was promoted to the adult choir, but for a while, we were playing at churches and rest homes, and kids are quite popular. So I got to be an honorary kid. That was 20 years ago, and handbells have been a very good thing in my life for all that time. Kept me sane and given me an opportunity to perform music. You know, I have modest talents compared to my children, believe me. What do we got here? Oh, it says, anyways, I digress. As older folks often do. This is right there. I want to say one more thing. Cherish your family and your friends. We are so lucky to have those people in our lives. And spare some thoughts for all the lonely people that are out there.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, based on a 1910 French novel and the love affair between the beautiful Christine and the mysterious Max Phantom. It's one of the longest running productions on Broadway. Back in 1992, I was not the suave, cultured person you see standing here today. And by coincidence, maybe, I had recently married a young lady who shared my lack of cultural sensibilities. What prompted us 30-something years ago now to decide to drive from Wilmington to Charlotte to see a performance of the Phantom? I don't recall, and I'm not talking to her anymore, so it doesn't matter. But once there, from the first note to the last, we sat there spellbound, mesmerized as the music washed over us. It was a magical, magical night. Once we remembered for many years. And even now, when I hear the music, it transports me back to that night of the production. I will admit that while practicing this song, I often just stood there and listened because I like it so much, rather than ringing my bells. But I assure you, today I will ring for your pleasure. And I want to tell you to sit back, but hang on, and enjoy Phantom of the Opera. Oh, got most important. I have to reveal who the Phantom really is. Enjoy Phantom of the Opera, folks.
Sonny, that was awesome. Oh, amazing, we're already at the end of the concert. What happened? It's been such fun, and I have to thank Emily and our rhythm section and Maggie. Wow, can you give them another hand? I also have some really big thank yous to our supporting organizations. We're a community choir, we have no budget, we're not a nonprofit, and we rely on the community to support us. And we have a couple churches that just have gone far beyond. First Presbyterian, we have a rehearsal space here. A lot of the bells that you see up here belong to First Presbyterian. They help us with our marketing material. They printed your programs that you see today. So just, the list goes on and on. First Methodist of Moorhead. These big fat bass bells that you like seeing Jim and Charles ring, those come from First Methodist. And we really appreciate that. We have also bells from St. Peter's here in Moorhead City. And they provided a number of the selections that we played also in terms of sheet music. So we are indebted to our partners. You'll recognize this last piece, I think. Often we think of America the Beautiful as a patriotic song. But actually, the young lady that wrote the original poem, the words that you hear in the lyrics, it was something quite different from patriotism, I think, that she had in mind. She was a young college professor in Colorado, and she and several of her friends, this took place in the late 1800s actually, she and a couple of her friends decided to do a weekend trip up to Pikes Peak, one of the 14 camps there. So they hired a guy with a kind of like a mule stagecoach thing to take them most of the way, and then they unhooked the mules and took them the rest of the way up. And let me tell you, we climbed a volcano. We never climbed Pikes Peak, but yeah, it's dusty business. It's sweaty business. It's hot. And, you know, so they're going the last leg on these mules and thinking, oh, what have we gotten ourselves into? Came around that last ridge and awe. Absolute awe. How often do we get to feel awe in our lives? We can all use a little. So, this song, and I think this arrangement actually, is more about the awe. See if it can. Thank you so much for